Hi, in this video I want to talk about why I end up purchasing a used Mavic 3 Cine in the year 2026. Let's talk about it right now. Okay, so I purchased a used Mavic 3 Cine for a fourth of the original price. Now initially when DJI came out with this drone, the Mavic 3 and the Mavic 3 Cine, the Mavic 3 Cine was so expensive. It was 5,000 US dollars or 7,000 Canadian dollars. That is absolutely ridiculous, right? Well, anyway, when it came out, everybody was so excited about it. The micro four thirds sensor that was built into this camera with a telezoom, 168 millimeter, all these other features that come with it, which I'll explain in a minute. And everybody was so excited for the first month. Then after that, when you search at YouTube, there was a cricket, like nothing. What just happened, right? I thought this drone was amazing. And all of a sudden, they came out with the Mavic 3 Pro and Pro Cine, then the Mavic 4 Pro, and everybody get hyped up. You know, I have to tell you, YouTube, it's just, especially those who are reviewing these drones for short term I tell you, I wouldn't say they're scammers, but they definitely are pushing the product for DJI. I can tell you right now, this is a finished product after 2 years of firmware update. This is actually a very amazing drone, and I'm not pushing this product because I bought it with my own money at a very affordable price, because I bought it for a fourth of the price. Actually, somebody sold it to me in a very good condition. It comes with the premium combo, 3 batteries, the Pro RC controller, which is amazing, and yeah, and all the features that when Cine came out, plus the mature, updated firmware. Just imagine that. So when it first came out, you know, DJI promised all these firmware updates and all that stuff. But actually, after almost a year or two, they did update everything, but nobody talked about it. So I actually spent almost a day or two actually just watching videos about this Mavic 3 Cine. And, you know, I noticed that after a month or two, when people own it, and then they don't talk about it anymore. Neither they don't have it, or the excitement ran out. Maybe they wait too long for the firmware update. I don't know. But let me update you why I ended up getting this Cine 3, like the Mavic 3 Cine. Because initially I was going to get the Mini 4 Pro. Because normally, you know, I love these mini drones. I have the Mini 3 and Mini 3 Pro, but I broke that one. And then I have the Neo 2. As well as my Mavic Air, the version 1, right? I have those smaller drones. I kept all the small drones, and I end up selling all my big drones because, you know, it's just, especially the Phantom 4 Pro, and then I have the Mavic 2 Pro. What I found out is that the battery wasn't very good. If I left it for a year and I forget about it, the battery just died on its own, and I couldn't retrieve it. So I end up like selling, you know, the drones just with only one battery. I usually have like 3-4 batteries, and the battery that I end up unusable, I end up using it for something else. Anyway, that was a long story. I ended up selling all my big drones, very disappointed because of the battery issue. But however, this Mavic 3 Cine was a different animal altogether, because the sensor itself has improved a lot. You're talking about micro four thirds sensor that's found in my GH4, the Panasonic GH4, which I own, right? So big sensor, and it also has a telezoom, 168 millimeter telezoom that you can zoom in 7 times. Now, initially when it came out, this zoom lens was not great. You know, DJI claimed that it's only used for scouting, right? But then over time, when they do updated their firmware, the zoom lens got a little bit, I think not a little bit, but actually quite a lot better. Not perfect, but a lot better. The reason for that is because the sensor is only like 1/2, and it's like f4.4, which is not great, right, for low light. But it's not meant for low light. It's meant for daytime when you're trying to zoom in something, right? The most important is the main sensor in this main camera. So it's a Micro Four Third f2.8. It can, I think it goes all the way to f11, I believe. Anyway, when it first came out, the firmware wasn't like up to par, and it took months and months, before it got all updated. Now, in the year 2026, this is a matured professional drone, right? Now, I'm talking about the Cine, right? The reason why they call it Cine, because this drone can actually record in ProRes HQ. Now, initially, it was just HQ, and people were disappointed because, HQ takes a lot of memory, right? And to record good quality image. However, some people were saying, do we really need HQ? Can we get the LT? And so I think 6 months to a year later, DJI updated that and allow us to have LT. So nobody talked about it that much, right? I was searching on the YouTube. Nobody really talked about that the Mavic 3 Cine come with the LT. So when that initial rush for this drone, and after a few months, just peaked and then dropped like crazy. But now it is actually a well-developed, mature professional drone. So you have the ProRes HQ, the normal 422, and then the LT. Now this Cine also comes with the SSD 1 terabyte memory built in, so you can actually store all the image inside this drone. And even if you forget the SD card, it does have an SD card slot as well, just in case you want to record more, like up to I think 512 gig. But I think 1 terabyte is good enough. Now the reason why they have that 1 terabyte SSD fast drive in there, because you want to record the ProRes HQ, right? Anyway, it has a lot of options. You can record ProRes, or you can record H.265 or H.264. Normally, you just want to do the H.625. It also, after a few firmware updates, is able to do, the HLG and other D-Log and all that. Before, initially, when it came out, it didn't have a lot of option, including, for example, the follow me, the point of interest, and other neat features that DJI promised at the beginning, right? It took the months and months later on it came out. So people were quite disappointed because they spending Cine, for example, was so expensive. You had to take a mortgage out of your bank in order to just pay this drone, right? So, but now you can buy used for a third or fourth or even a fifth of the price, depending on what you want for this drone. I got the whole package for a fourth of the price, including the Pro RC remote control and the 3 batteries, all working really well. And even the drone, I'm looking at it, it looks almost new. So, this person who sold to me, I probably end up getting, well, he told me he wanted just the mini, but I doubt it. Maybe he just want to get the Pro 4 version or whatever. But to me, this is good enough for professional work. When you're thinking of making short films, you're thinking of feature film, and you want to do the aerial shot, yeah, this drone can do it because it can record the ProRes HQ or the LT, and then you can edit it really fast in DaVinci Resolve. So this drone, the reason I bought it, and this is the only one large drone I end up having because I sold all my large drone. This one, the reason I bought it is because, it's able to resist wind, right? So I can fly, in a relative heavy wind, like I'm talking about 30, 40 kilometers, and it can probably handle it. Whereas, I have a mini here. I don't think so, right? This is only on a normal weather time, when you have very low wind, and you can fly these one, no problem, right? Image is pretty good. But when you're talking about heavy wind or condition that is normally, your mini drone won't be able to handle, well, here comes this big drone, right? With amazing big sensor. And also it has all these optical sensors, to avoid any objects or barriers. So, and it can fly quite fast, okay? So you can check the spec yourself, but I'm really proud that I ended up buying this drone instead of the Mini 4 Pro because I do have all the minis already, including Neo 2 and the Mini 3, as well as the Mavic Air. And the last drone I would like to have is actually this one, which is the professional Cine drone from DJI. And I would say, yeah, if you can afford it, get this drone, because it is a professional drone for making a real feature film. I think it's good enough to do that. Okay, next time I'll show you the image come out of this, but you can check other YouTubers. Now, the problem is, these YouTubers, they keep telling you to buy new and newer drone, but they don't really stick to their own drone that they bought previously, which I think should be enough for the next 20 years. I have to say, yeah, next 20 years, I can say that, because it has the image quality for that. Okay, especially when I'm filming. If you check my YouTube, it's only in 1080p. This thing can do 4K 120 or 1080p 200 frames per second. Okay, so yeah, do I need it? Probably not, but because it could do all those, this is definitely future-proof for sure, right? Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and give me a little heart of appreciation. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.